Y'all could say something. Anybody? Y'all doing all right?
I'm doing all right.
Okay,
Hello.
thank you so much. How y'all doing? I know it is Wednesday, it is hump day, and we are making our way downhill to Friday. We are almost there. All right, so I just want to welcome you to our first steering committee meeting of the year. I know some of y'all are here for these dojo points, so glad y'all were able to come, but you must stay till the end so you can fill out our survey. That's the only way your baby gets the points. All right. So really quickly, we are going to do some introductions. Miss Bowman, you can take it away.
Hello, everybody. This is our first steering committee meeting for the 24-25 school year. I appreciate you all, Ms. Gilmore. Thank you so much for your leadership with our community schools efforts. When I think about the 6 pillars, having a meeting like today, I think about community support services, and I think a lot about family and community partnerships. We cannot do this work without each of you. You all are the fabric of the work that we do. So getting your voice, getting your thoughts, having you all help us with leadership decision-making is a big part of what we really want to make sure we're leveraging this school year. So just thank you all for being here, and I look forward to the teamwork that we will do.
5:08 p.m. All right. So did you want to introduce our admin in IoT or do you want me to?
For sure. I'm not sure everyone can get connected today outside of Mrs. Black. I know she is here, so thank you, Ms. Black, our parent engagement assistant. But we also have additional leadership that will be a part of this meeting. So sometimes you'll see me, sometimes you'll see them, and sometimes you'll see all of us. But we have a brand new assistant principal, Dr. Morrison, will be working with us this school year from Robert Gray. So we're excited to include her. Ms. Arrington, our professional school counselor. She is our teacher community schools liaison. So she absolutely will be a big part of the collaboration that happens with Ms. Gilmore. And of course, our parent engagement assistant, Mrs. Black. So just wanting to make sure you all know all of our leaders in this work. We try not to make sure Ms. Gilmore is not doing all this on her own. We try to continue to work and support her as well. But definitely thank you for giving me an opportunity to acknowledge them.
Absolutely. All right, so I do see one of our community partners here. And so during this meeting, you will learn a lot about what community schools is, the strategy, why I am here at this school. And as Ms. Mama already said, community partners is a huge part of the work we do because I cannot do everything by myself with it, and that is why we rely heavily on them. So, Mrs. Robinson, hate to put you on the spot. I know I see your face, but if you don't mind just coming off of you introducing yourself, tell us about the organization you are from, why you agreed to join this steering committee, and just some of the things you do for us here at the Key.
Okay, well, good evening, everyone. My name is Dr. Wanda Robinson, and I'm actually a retired principal from Prince George's County Public Schools. And I currently work closely with the Prince George's Public Schools Retirees Association. On last year, we adopted Francis Scott Key Elementary, and we had a wonderful experience with them, providing pretty much everything from uniforms to supplies to donating our time to volunteer with the various activities. And so I feel very honored to be asked to be a part of the steering committee this school year to continue to support the work that's being done there.
Thank you so much. And please give her a round of applause because there's a lot of things that happen on the background that y'all do not see that makes all of this happen. So y'all see the pretty stuff with the bows on top, but we be working hard, okay? And I see another one of our community partners joining in, and I am not trying to put everybody on the spot tonight, but I am a teacher at heart myself, so I do not mind calling people out. Mr. Joe, are you in a talking capacity tonight?
Not really, but I apologize for my tardiness. I got the
No.
kids, but I couldn't miss the meet. I committed to it, so I'm jumping on.
And we appreciate you. So I will speak for you if you don't mind. I will try and do your organization justice. So Mr. Joe Home comes from us from General Futures Charity Incorporated, and they have done a lot to support us last year and hope to do a lot this upcoming year. They provided a lot of our turkeys, our coats that we have, and our family engagement center, and just a host of other things that they do for the community. A lot of you all came actually to their community day that happened over the summer, and we got to see y'all there a couple weeks before school started. Y'all got some backpacks and a whole bunch of other things. So we are excited that they chose to continue their partnership with us, and hopefully we will work to get our cuts and crowns back for y'all this upcoming spring and some other things that we have in the works. All right. So, really briefly, we are just going to go over this very small, very short agenda. I promise I will not be before y'all long. I know everyone has things to do. You're probably hungry like I am. Okay. So, first, we are just going to do a brief community school overview just so everyone can understand what is a community school, right? You have me, a community school coordinator, but what does that mean? The role of the steering committee, this meeting that you all are a part of, and if you choose to continue logging on to these meetings, and then a very, very brief budget overview, just so you can kind of understand the money that we get and also the money and why and what we use it for. All right, so really briefly, we have this lovely video. I apologize to the staff who have seen this video a couple times already, but it never gets old. All right, so I'm going to mute myself and turn off my camera so the video plays smoothly. If you cannot hear, please let me know, but I think we should be good to.
All children are filled with light, fire, and wonder. Every child needs nurturing and care for their light to shine, their fire to burn, and their sense of wonder to expand. But right now, our country remains divided by predictable patterns, high rates of violence, and a lack of connection. And in the middle of it all, our students are falling through the cracks. Too often, kids come to school in a state that interferes with learning, carrying the baggage of fear, hunger, physical pain, and psychological distress. They don't have opportunities to play and learn after school and in the summer, and college seems like a faraway dream. It's only by coming together as a community that we can create thriving students who will climb to meet their full potential. That's going to take work. It's going to take a change in mindset. We must break the system built on division and build in its place a new model that connects individuals, families, neighborhoods, schools, and other institutions together with the understanding that our fates are linked. This country can only reach its potential if we help our children develop the skills required for success in school, career, and life. The goal is thriving students. The vision is community schools. Community schools are welcoming, fun, and attractive spaces for students and families to use before, during, and after the school day. In this approach, the school acts as the hub of the community, working with public and private partners to serve children, their families, and their neighborhood. Youth development opportunities, health, and social services are not seen as extra or complementary. They are integrated into the fabric of the school as an essential part of its DNA. Every community school responds to local needs, but all community schools provide a safe, healthy, and supportive environment for students. Collaborate with community partners to enhance learning and create enriching opportunities for students. Develop the knowledge and skills needed for students to succeed in college, career, and life. More and more schools and communities across the country are working toward the day when every school is a community school, providing every child with high-quality instruction with a focus on college and career, expanded learning opportunities beyond the school day, health, nutrition, and physical education, and strong family and community engagement. That includes access to crucial family support systems, such as housing, language learning, and employment. The road is long and the work is hard, but it's the most important work there is. Please join us as we work to create a nation full of community schools and thriving students.
All right. So before we continue, did that resonate with any of you? I saw a couple head nods while the video was going on. Feel as though you have seen any of these things happening at our school. Anyone want to share, throw anything in the chat, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, heart, if you will. Everyone just wants to stare at me. It's okay. I know it's late.
I think I see all these things. I think we work really hard at it. We don't always get it right, but absolutely, I think as we continue to build these relationships and put resources in place, I love the idea of how we're making sure there's food and groceries and opportunities for families. So yeah, I think we're working to do it for sure.
And so, thank you, Ms. Bowman. I did want to highlight kind of the definition that was shared in the video, and I won't read this in its entirety, but the idea that a community school, really any school, should be a one-stop shop, right? So we have your students pretty much 8 hours a day, which is the bulk of the day, right? And so we want to make sure that when they are here in our care, yes, academics are important, and that is our number one priority, but we know there are a lot of other things that happen outside of the school walls that can affect their learning. And so, as you all have experienced with Family Market, our Hungry Harvest boxes, mommies, mentoring through athletics, these are things that may not directly support academic advancement, but it helps kind of alleviate some of those barriers that can interfere. Okay. And if you have a question, please feel free to raise your hand or throw a question in the chat. I will try and monitor it periodically. And so this wasn't touched on, but I did want to highlight that when you become a community school, you do receive an additional budget to what the county already provides. So we receive two budgets, a per pupil and a personnel budget. And so these budgets are designed to kind of supplement these wraparound or integrated services into our school and into our community. These are a little bit of the logistics. I will send out the PDF copy of this PowerPoint. So if you don't read everything, you will have the opportunity to go back and review it. So really quickly, this is just an overall snapshot of our first budget, our personnel. Every community school receives this budget when they first start out. And as you can kind of see, we have allocated parts of this budget for certain activities or certain wraparound services or integrated services. So you'll see that we provide hygiene kits. So if you are ever in need of a hygiene kit, I know our school counselor, she does the hygiene workshop for all of our fourth and fifth grade students. So they get to take home a hygiene kit. We have money for our field trips because we try and alleviate the cost for you all as our parents when we want to take your students somewhere, because we know you always don't want to pay $15, $20 for entrance fees. And that is something, experiential learning, that we do believe is important for our students. So we try and supplement costs there. Then we have our big budget, the per pupil budget. And so this is where you'll see a lot of our contracts come in, like mentoring through athletics, our carnivals, our field days, our community days that we're planning. All of this is funded through the community school side. And then you have a little definition here. Again, I won't read everything in its entirety, just explaining what wraparound and integrated services is. So as it touched on in the video, we want to make sure that we are providing connections, if you will, to outside resources for things that we may not necessarily be able to provide: social services, housing needs, legal aid. These are things that we may not have somebody in-house who can support, but our job is to make sure that we can do our best. And I know I try and do my best to connect you to somebody who can, right? And so this is why community relationships are so important, right? I don't know everything, okay? This is my 5th year in the county. It feels like it's been so long, but it really hasn't. But we have Dr. Robinson over there who knows every and anybody, right? So if y'all ask me a question, I'm like, I don't know this person. 9 times out of 10, she probably gonna know. So I'm gonna pick up the phone and I'm going to call her to help get you connected to who you need to be connected to. Oh, we got somebody else coming in. All right, so these are just a snapshot of examples of integrated services. Now, I want to make sure we understand we cannot do everything. This list looks amazing. And in a perfect world, we will have every one of these things happening all the time, 24/7. Y'all wouldn't want to leave the school, but unfortunately, there are life restrictions. So we do our best to provide as much as we can. But the great thing is we are not the only community school in the county. So if we're not able to offer something, this is why we have our clusters. This is why we build cross-school connections. So in the event that I don't have something or I'm not being able to offer something, I can say, hey, head on down to William Bean, or you might want to check out Drew Freeman, right? And this is how we build this community school strategy. Y'all doing okay? Any questions thus far? Y'all still with me? Are we going too fast? I'm gonna take silence as a
You're doing
yes.
good. You're doing
Yeah.
good.
Okay, listen, I don't want to lose anybody. All right. So you are here at our first steering committee meeting. And so what is the role? This is not a place that you just get to log on, sit there, and let me do all the talking. Okay. This is a collaborative effort, right? So I'm here, I'm the community school coordinator, but you all are just as important, if not more important than I am. I can have all these grandiose ideas and say, oh, we need to do this, Ms. Boma, and we're going to have this whole parade, and we want to do this, this, and this. And then y'all look at me like I'm crazy because y'all didn't ask for this. So your job is to advocate for yourself. What are your needs? What are the ideas that you have? What are things that you want to see at Francis Scott Key? And if it aligns with the budget and if we get approval, from the higher ups, then I will do my best to make it happen. So I want you all to feel empowered. Ask your students, what do they want to see? What are things that they are interested in? If y'all want to have a pottery class, I'm gonna do my best to get a pottery class. Okay, so don't feel as though you have to be restricted by what has already been done, but I want you to feel empowered to dream. Okay, that is what this budget is for. That is what I'm here for. We want to make what will make your lives easier and your students' lives better. All right, so now we get to me. What do I do, right? And why am I here? Okay, so I'm not going to read all of my roles and responsibilities, but I am the community school coordinator. So my job is to manage both budgets and to basically do all the paperwork and all the talking and all the making relationships and smiling and pleading and saying, please, can y'all come do this? I know we may not be able to pay you, but our kids really, really need it. So that is my job. My job is to coordinate all the things that you see happening. I know I can sometimes float y'all dojos with a whole bunch of posts, but that is my job, just making sure you all stay plugged into the things that are happening, not only at our school, but in the community. Okay, so my job is to be a bridge between yourself, your students, the teachers, the staff, and the community as a whole. Oh, go forward. There we go. All right, so at the end of this meeting, either tonight or tomorrow morning, depending on when I remembered to schedule this post on Dojo, you all will receive a link to a referral form. So as we talked about, there are a variety of services that we offer in-house, but we also have connections to outhouse. All right. And so this form is going to be for you to advocate for the needs of your family. If you feel as though you are entering financial trouble, housing trouble, legal trouble, these are things that you can privately submit so that I can do my job to connect you, either to refer you to Ms. Black for her to work on you with you one-on-one, or for me to connect you to a community resource to get you the support that you need. We additionally have a uniform partner. So in the event you need uniforms, we will work with you there to make sure that you can get the uniforms in the correct sizes for your student. We do have some uniforms in stock, but I always try and let our families know we are sometimes running low on certain sizes. So in the event an accident happens and your baby comes home with a shirt that might be a little too big, we're doing our best. So when your babies graduate, give us their uniforms, please. We really, really need them. Okay, we do have a washer and dryer in-house as well. So we do our best to keep everything up to par and to hygiene standards. All right, so for our community partners and for our parents, these are some of the things that we commonly are always in need of. Number one being uniforms. Y'all heard me mention it. Your babies grow fast, okay? They are shooting up and outgrowing any and everything. All right. So if you have some things that your babies can't fit anymore, we will be happy to have them because we definitely can bless somebody else with them. Undergarments, not used, please. Just throwing that out there. We do like to give your babies fresh underwear in the event of an accident. Candy. Now I know y'all saw that big old budget, and you're gonna be like, Miss Gilmore, why you asking me for candy? Candy is one of those things that I am not allowed to buy. Okay, argue with the people above me; they make those decisions. So we are in need of candy. We will talk about some of the upcoming events that we have, but we like to give y'all students a little treat every now and again. Okay. Yes, the fall festival is coming up. We're going to need all the candy y'all can get. Next, we have teacher morale boosters. As y'all know, teaching is a task and it can sometimes be a challenging task. Sometimes I cannot afford, the budget will not allow me to get all the fun, cute things that teachers like. Now, the expo markers are cool and they use them, but sometimes we want to make sure a teacher gets something that makes the teacher happy. So if you're ever in Five Below and you're like, oh, I think Miss Johnson might like this, or oh, Mr. Muhammad may like that, pick it up for them, bring it to us so we can just help them get through this school year because they deserve it. Following that, we need student incentives. We have a huge PBIS program going, and so we like to encourage your students, okay? We want to make sure that they know that when they achieve not just academically, but in character and integrity and responsibility, and as to being kind and not bullying, we want to reward them for those behaviors, okay? And then lastly, book donations. We are a school. We like to read and we like to promote reading. So if you ever have some old books lying around or you see a book that you think will bless a student, we will be happy to take it and make sure it gets to a student who will read it. Okay, that's the main thing. All right, so we have our upcoming events. We have Men Make a Difference Day, and I didn't put the date, but that's okay because I'll share that out later. We have Men Make a Difference Day coming up, and then Book O Ween. And so we are looking for men, respectful, kind men who can conduct themselves appropriately to come welcome our students in on the date that will be shared after this when I double check the calendar, unless anyone else knows the date off the top of their head.
October 23rd.
Thank you so much. But we will make sure that we post it in Dojo. And then we have our Book-A-Ween event where your students get to dress up as their favorite book character. And so for that, we will need candy, lots and lots of candy. I'm going to keep pushing the candy thing. So don't get mad, okay? But we do need candy, okay? And so we have some admin updates. So our next family markets and our final family markets for the 2024 year are November 6th and December 4th. See what happens when y'all come to the steering committee meeting? Y'all get the dates before anybody else. So y'all could put them on your calendar. And then we are working on things on the community relations sides for some Thanksgiving and Christmas giveaways. Again, uniforms, we are always in need of those, and I will leave some time for Ms. Boma. Do you have any principal remarks? I know Moments with Boma is coming up.
Yes, absolutely. On Friday, I have reached out to some of their subgroups of families just to say it's a moment where I just take some time to answer your questions, give you updates, be available. So if you need help with your classroom teacher supports, if you need help to get access to counseling or services through community school, every month I will always have available time. So Moments with Bomas is Friday. Tomorrow is Hispanic Heritage, a celebration for us. So we have a gallery walk. So if you have an opportunity, please come drop by. That'll be another great experience. And I just wanted to remind any parents that are connected to our Zoom tonight that the quarter ends at the end of the month. So October 31st is the end of the first quarter. So make sure you are checking grades, make sure we are connecting with those teachers. If you didn't catch them during parent-teacher conference opportunities, there's still any opportunity where you can get that. So you can always schedule a conference with your classroom teacher. But thank you all for being here. I just really appreciate it. And I look forward to a positive school year. And thank you, Ms. Washington. I see you're connected. Thanks for being here.
All right, so our next steering committee
Thank
meeting.
you for having me.
Jessica Washington is our Office of Community School Specialist. So she is involved with all of Cluster 6, which is about 20-something schools, but she always makes time for little old Francis Scott Key. She always supports us. So if I don't ever have a question, 9 times out of 10, I bother her and she gets me the right answer. I annoy her a little bit, but she loves me anyway, and we appreciate her. So our next steering committee meeting will be January 15th. I do want to take the time to stop the PowerPoint. We have the quick poll that you all need to fill out so your babies can get their dojo points. But before I open the poll, I'm just going to pause for a brief moment to see if anyone has any questions, comments, or concerns or ideas.
I probably have one more plug, Ms. Gilmore.
Absolutely.
I know sometimes our parents are asking, can kids wear Francis Scott Key gear? And we do have spirit wear. So on the dojo, I know Ms. Black posted a few hours ago that if you go on the link, you can purchase gear from our sport that has our school name on it. You can put your kid's name on it, and it is a fundraiser for us, and kids can wear it as with their uniform. So another cool way to kind of jazz the uniform up and have some Francis Scott Key spirit.
Awesome. I know I need to order me a little sweatshirt. All right, so I'm going to launch the poll and you should see it pop up on your screen. I know sometimes if you're on a phone, you might need to click a little pop up button, and I will give a couple minutes for you all to knock that out.